If I believe there's a reason for this pain I'm going through, if I believe that leaving me was all that you could do, if I believe that I can feel you by my side, I'll make
What's that, someone who's on the show?
it through the night.
Doesn't that hurt?
If I believe that time will teach me how to find my way, if I believe that broken hearts grow stronger every day, if I believe that now you're dancing across the sky, I just might get by. If I believe that memories won't always hurt this much, if I believe that I will see your face again, I can wait till then.
Love the purple.
Here we go. Hi, my name is Joanne, and welcome to the Somerville Overcoming Addiction show. As you can see, I have my Santa sweater on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
a couple of days, and I'll have to hang it up for another year.
For another year. Yep.
Our guest tonight is Lily, also known as Lisa Ward Qualls. And I had Lily on the show about a year and a half ago, and now I wanted to see how she was doing, and
Thanks.
you know, we've kept in touch, but I think we should do more with sickle cell anemia.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long, it's definitely a long, it's a long road when you're really trying to create, as we were speaking a minute ago, trying to create things, you know. I think a lot of people mean good. You know, they really, really do. But I think life just gets overwhelming, you know, and sometimes it's 24 hours in a day. You just can't fit everything everywhere all of the time.
What happens is, before, things used to be not so complicated. Now it seems like no matter where you go, it's a long road. And if you're not feeling well, like you know, this past year you've had so many issues. It's hard. It really is hard.
Wanted to give up.
And you can't do that.
I did. I went through a real, I was born with sickle cell anemia, so I guess I kind of worked my way with life around it, you know, even being hospitalized and given many death dates and being in 4 comas, I still was able to make the most I could out of my good days. But even my bad, but with now the kidney failure and the heart failure.
And look at her. Look how beautiful she looks. You make an effort.
I do. Like when I had surgery. I had an implant put in my arm about 10 months ago. Took 4 months to heal, to start dialysis. And I came here the very next day from surgery because I had to do my show. I think if I don't do that, I don't know what I'll have to look forward to. Like, you know, you don't like to say you're tired and sound like you're giving up, because I'm definitely not. But I'm definitely tired.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I've slowed down a lot.
Yep.
And the thing is that, well, I'm a diabetic, you know, and I say to myself, you always had so much energy, and now all you can say is, I'm tired every day. I'm tired.
And diabetes is a very dangerous disease. It's it really is. It comes with, I lost 2 extended family members and my uncle in 5 years from diabetes.
Really?
Lost leg, toes, everything just broke down from there. That's a very serious condition. It really is. It's a serious condition.
Not as serious what you're going through.
No, but yeah, like I try to look at life from other people's perspective. What your pain is to me, and what my pain is to me, mine is maybe a lot deeper and stronger and many other issues, but the level emotionally and mentally and spiritually is the same. You know, it really does buckle down to that, because we can't do nothing. We're not the doctor. We can't do nothing physically but follow instructions, do our best to do the research, you know, and make sure that what we are giving ourselves is what it's supposed to be, and see if we see the changes that we're supposed to have, and if things are making us better or not. But in our reality, we're not the ones that have the hands-on knowledge or physical capability to do anything other than. So for us, what we have is our mental, emotional, and spiritual. And just because you banged your toe and I broke my leg, don't mean the pain might not be the same to each of us.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah. I thought my sickle cell was tough. But 2 more diseases and fighting addiction. Thank God my fight for addiction isn't what it was when I first started. I would, what? I wouldn't have made it here. There's no way.
You're a strong woman, that's what it is. You know, I watch your posts on Facebook and everything else. Boy, you are powerful.
I had to take a break from that.
But you are a powerful woman.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
No. People say that. I don't feel it. I don't. But I think that's what happens. I think that we get so caught up in the doing of things that we don't realize what we may have become, or what we really may be doing that's helping. I think for me, I always feel like I'm not doing enough. So I don't see that. And with Facebook, I get caught up. Sometimes, you know, you have to let people have their opinions.
Definitely.
And Facebook can be abused. You know, I went through something with one of my family members, which made me get back on Facebook last week, because I completely said I need a break. People here was telling me I need a break. Even the patients that I help and work with was like, Lisa, you gotta sit down. You know, coming straight out of surgery, I was still like on the run. Never got no recovery really, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I just kept banging and banging and banging.
You run yourself down.
right back into the hospital, which I did. I had 2 more heart failures. So it was kind of like mandated that I sit down. So I said, okay, I'll pick up on the social media thing. But then I found that, you know, I think that some people, when they don't get help with whatever it is that they're going through, that they find an avenue to take their misery. You know how they say misery loves company?
Right.
You know, and the little subliminal things, and when you have family, and, you know, me doing what I do, I bust my butt to try to save, you know, kids, adults, whatever, whether it's with sickle cell, kidney failure, addiction, you know, and more. And I recently got a family member that kind of used my name. And it was like, oh, my cousin's making fun of me. And it wasn't true. You know, but their need for their attention, I can't accommodate. You know, and sometimes I think that when we're to our limit, whether it's with friends or family, if someone doesn't want to change, the only thing you can do is remove yourself. At least that's what I was taught in addiction, and there's certain things that I follow to stay clean, you know? And, you know, my sponsor always said you can't change everybody, but one thing you can do is change yourself and remove yourself. But then sometimes when you remove yourself, now you got social media that pulls you back in. And I'm like, wait a minute, because I do work that matters. I've changed my life in so many different ways. And I was like, I have to answer to this. You know, sometimes they say just, you know, sometimes the best thing is to not say nothing. But then I measured it and I'm like, I work with people in this area, you know, and that's not good and healthy, and I have to speak up. You know, I'm someone that'll give you a shirt off my back. I've always been like that. You know, I have family that's like, oh, Lisa, if you're sick, all I'm going to do is one thing for you, and you do 10 back. Okay, well, it is what it is. You know, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I know what it's like to be, like, shunned. I know what it's like to not have someone there. I guess you don't want to lose that, you know. And I think the older we get, our heart gets just so much softer without working so hard to make it that way. You know, they say some things come with age. I just hope I age gracefully. Like, I don't, whatever age God's going to keep me here, I don't want to be angry. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wish everybody was just so much kinder.
Unfortunately, it's become a tit for tat type of a community or a world. You know, I don't like what I see. And to tell you the truth, we all do have opinions. And we went from, what was the saying? Everybody has opinion, you know, give them, you know, let them have their opinion.
Right.
Now it's like you have an opinion. They don't even want to know you anymore. And it's like, that's pretty sad that we've gone through finally realizing that people do have opinion and, you know, respect them for that. You may not agree with it.
Right.
To the point where now your opinion doesn't matter. And that's too bad. Just like, you know, if someone was sick, you go and get them, you bring them some soup or whatever, and it's like nobody knows each other next door.
Nope.
I try to be friendly.
I put that on Facebook last week.
What?
When I had to answer to this craziness, I said, we grew up in projects. You really didn't go hungry. And I don't know, I don't think we here really know what it's like to go hungry.
No.
There's a difference between being hungry and in hunger.
Right.
You know, like, you couldn't be in the building and your mom didn't have money for dinner. Like, there was a neighbor that came up with a pot of stew, or leftovers, or, it just was, we had a community within the community.
Right.
You know what I mean? We didn't go hungry. We may be hungry, but we weren't starving. It wasn't hunger like, we just got to cook, like a third world country. We didn't have that. That's not true. It's not. Like, I've seen so many people help so many people.
Well, the thing is, a lot of, it's like, I work for the city of Somerville. I work in the school department. We have free lunch. We have free breakfast.
That's right.
The high school just recently got free lunch this year.
Really?
And then there's after-school programs, so they get snacks. So there is a lot of food.
Yep. I graduated from Somerville High. Yeah, I know.
And the thing is that I do food service, and I'm the manager at the high school.
See?
And the funny thing is that there's 1,292 kids in the school, right? Only 100 come to breakfast.
Yeah.
And I make croissants with bacon and eggs and cheese. I've made breakfast pizzas. I've done whatever I could to bring them in.
That's right.
And we're lucky if we get 100 kids.
Right. But everybody's
You know
supposed to
why?
be starving.
They don't want to get up.
No.
They're up all night on their phones or whatever, or out, and it's like, a lot of them are late for school too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just feel bad that, what we've turned into.
Yeah, it is sad, and I've lived life on both sides. I've done a lot of positive stuff, and there was a time period where I lived my life in negativity, because I was using. Well, not because I was using, because I made bad choices.
Is it because you made bad choices, or did you want to? I mean, a lot of times, there's all different reasons why people end up being addicted. One of them was, like my son, he had a motorcycle accident.
Right.
But he did have an addictive behavior.
Of course.
But he liked to drink. He didn't like drugs. He tried, let's face it, a lot of us have
Tried
experimented here
right.
and there.
That's right, man. That's right.
And, and some stay with it or some don't. But was it because of your illness? Was it, no?
That's the funny thing. I never liked medication. I've told my story on your show, on my show. I had so much energy that taking my medicine slowed me down. That meant I couldn't go out with my friends. That meant I couldn't go roller skating. I couldn't go dancing. I couldn't go to school. So I always did my best. Even in attacks, I would have to go into the hospital. I would wait till I was so bad that I was at a level where maybe I didn't have to get to because I didn't take care of my pain when it started. See, I know that today. But I was a kid. I wanted to go out, I played baseball, everything. I was into everything. So I didn't want to stay in a house, and it made me feel terrible, and, I would throw up. So, no, it wasn't that, because I'll tell you the truth, I ate more Motrin than anything.
Wow.
I ate Motrin before I even told my mother. Like, I would have to be at a level probably 5 to tell my mother. Not only that, I love my mother. She brought me into this world, She definitely gave me birth. My mother she really didn't mother me. Like, my mother was one of them tough Italian ladies. She really didn't know what S.C.A.W was. She was learning because I had it. But she had to experience to really know what the pain is. So she was caught between psychologists telling her it was in my mind, and then physically seeing that it's not in my mind. I have a big hemoglobin on top of my elbow. I just fell out. I just got put in an induced coma or something like that, But she was so busy making her life that when I got sick, I interrupted her life. So I would be scared to be sick sometimes because I know my mother might be coming home to give me a beating. Like, it really was that bad. And I covered for many years and lied. Don't know that,
Some people
can't
just
do it
don't know
no
how to
more.
be a mother.
Yeah, I think that my mother was beautiful financial supporter. Until I was old enough to take care of myself, because I did get a job at 16, and then I started working and didn't stop. But my mother was more into, I think, I want to say, going through what she'd been through. Maybe she didn't want to end up with nothing. So material things was more important to her. And I like nice things, don't get me wrong. But I love my family and people more than material things. I'm going to reach out and help people. I've had many in my family live with me. My mother's, it was just more about her and her things. And I think I kind of like interrupted that because I was sick. I don't think she expected to have a sick child. I think sometimes parents or adults, because my mother was at a good age when she had me, I just think that when you're not prepared to really give part of your life to a child, you shouldn't have it. And I know that means abortion, and I don't really believe in abortion.
But some of us, let's face it, when we didn't have any classes on how to be a mother.
We didn't. I know you all
So you did
didn't.
the
No.
best that you could with
That's
what you
right.
had. And, you
Yep.
know, I just fortunately love family and children.
Yeah,
And material things didn't matter to me.
yeah.
And, because they were more important. My son Frankie came home at 7 years old, and he said to me, "Mom, I want a pair of pants with the word on the back." And I said, "Oh, okay." He was talking about Jordache.
Oh, I remember.
Because
when
that
they
was
came
the
out.
time.
Yep.
And the funny thing is that I turned around and I said to him, "But you do have a pair of pants that have the word Wrangler on the back."
That's right. Wranglers are good jeans. And Levi's.
The
That's
whole
right.
thing is that he was starting at 7 to be materialistic.
That's right.
And,
And it's
and I
hard.
told him, it's what's in here. It's not what
Yep.
you're wearing, or, you know.
And my mother's still like that today. I
Really?
won't hear from her. She won't. She don't support. I think my sickness is real hard for her to deal with. So she'll send. I won't even hear from her. I'll hear from her maybe twice a year,
Oh my goodness.
unless I call her. Yeah.
Does she live in the area, or is
She went and moved to Florida, and she's just somebody brand new. It's just what she chose to do. Some people move and some people run. I think my mother
You know what?
ran.
That's true. My ex-husband ran.
Yeah, I think she ran, and I think she just created a life that was just for her. And, that's good for her. I'm not going to knock because it's my mom, and I do genuinely love my mother. But like I said, she mothered me. She gave me birth. She really didn't mother me. The street ended up bringing me up,
Right.
and no, I didn't become an addict because of my sickness. I became an addict because of what I grew up around. I was in the mix of my family with the hustlers and the gangsters and everything that was cool. The gamblers, do you know what I mean? Everything
Yeah.
that was, you watch the movies today and you're like, that's so cool and I want to be like that when I get older. No, you don't. And that's what I grew up around. I grew up around the drugs, the guns, the gambling. That's what I seen. It was glorified to me. So there was no way to me as a kid, what do you pick? You pick going to work, making what was it? Maybe it was $4 an hour we made, maybe?
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why I don't want to remember, because it was small.
yeah.
I started working at 16 years old at Leachmere
too.
Sales. You
I
know?
started working at 16. I started working as a junior counselor. Matter of fact, I was 15 when I was the junior counselor. I was 16. I started at Papagino's at the Assembly Square Mall. And I worked there all through high school.
Wow.
So I was assistant manager and everything, and going to school. So it wasn't like I just chose also to be an addict. It was around me. My family's well known out here, and then my family in Cambridge is well known too. So both sides of my family, that's what we had. And it was cool to me. You know, I know today it's not. I know today it brings you jail, prisons, and death. You know, but we didn't know that then. All the information that's out there now we didn't have that back then.
Right.
We didn't even have a parent that would talk to us. Like, I couldn't talk to my mom. My mom was just like, you don't ask questions, you just do what you're told. That
Well, I
really
think
how it was.
I mean, I think that's how it was when I was growing
Yep.
up too.
Yep.
You know, your parents told you what to do and you
That's
did it.
And you do not even act like you want to have the air to ask why, who said, who made that up. I watched the kids today and they're just like, why do I have to do that? Why can't you, huh? Huh? Like you're 7.
See, a lot of us did that. I was one of those people.
Oh, my mother would have whooped me.
Because my mother and my father, well, not my mother, but my father would say, this is what you're going to do. You go out on Friday, you don't go out on Saturday. You go out on Saturday, you don't go on, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you just did it.
Yep.
And then one time I gave him some lip and he just...
Popped you. That one hand.
Once.
That's it.
Once. It was a slap. It wasn't even a punch.
Right. And you might have deserved it.
Oh, I felt so bad. I cried and everything else because that's one thing you did, and you didn't disrespect your family.
Nope.
But now it's different.
Yep.
And the thing is, I think it started with us because we gave them a little bit more.
Gave them too much
choices and all that other
gave
stuff.
them the choice to have an opinion. I think when you
And
give
now
a
it doesn't
child
matter.
a choice to have an opinion, it's too much. Because some of the old school stuff that my mother taught me, I respect very much today.
Right.
When I say respect, I mean respect. Even some of the little cousins that are like nephews to me, they respect it because I tried to instill it in them too. You know, it's just, you know, they always said children have a place.
Right.
You know, one thing we knew on Saturdays when you
They
see
should be seen and not heard.
That's right. And when you see the cigars in our household being lit, that means you get out the kitchen. Go mind your business. This is a grown folks conversation. You know, period. So I think that's why we learned less too. That's why we were slower than the generation is now. You know, so I think it has its balancing. I think on one hand it's good because the kids are learning at such a quicker age today. Very smart children we have, but what are they doing with it? And I think that's because they lost the respect, because they lost the morals.
Well, there's too many things changing. We have new math. We have, it's not even that. They're not even teaching them cursive anymore or even history. They want to erase history. And you can't erase something. It's happened.
That's right.
So they should just leave it alone.
Yep.
Same thing, they shouldn't be changing the Constitution. They shouldn't be doing all the things that they're doing. Why do we have to change what existed? You know, I think
because it did a lot of good. It did do us a lot of good. I think we're just letting the kids just run wild today. I think it's too much, you know, and it's sad because people are killing people left and right on top of the people that are killing themselves.
Well, look what happened in Chicago the weekend. 12 shootings.
Yep.
It's like, my goodness, that is a little bit much.
Yeah.
And it's got to be all around drunks.
Of course.
But a lot of people don't see that. Let's wear those
No.
blinders. Let's not realize that there's a problem. Now, I went to was at the neighborhood restaurant, and I saw Joe Kennedy there. And he was talking about all these different things, and he got to addiction. And he said, do you know how many people are in jail for addiction? I mean, for drugs. I yelled out 75%. I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's 90.
About 90.
90% of the people that are in jail, instead of giving them services and helping them, you know, we have all these people in jail.
And now what they're doing that I don't believe in is they give. I'm just not a fan of Suboxone.
And you know what?
I'm
in
just
many ways, neither am I.
I can't believe our mayor has backed it up. I'm astonished that we have people that are in power that are so bright, so intelligent, that would allow a decision like that. The marijuana law, even the marijuana law, like, I'm not going to lie, it did nothing for my sickle cell. My doctor said try it. I had a problem because for me to do that means I relapse. That's how I looked at it. Not taking my sickle cell into consideration. At the time, I didn't have the kidney failure. I didn't have the heart failure. And I just banged with my doctor. Nope, 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 because nope, because then I don't know if I'm going to relapse mentally, and nope. I was scared to death, Joanne, scared to death. Want me to get my medical card, scared to death. Nope, 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 nope. So when the kidney failure came next, and it just got so bad, like I went from probably 125 to 130 is what I ran. I'm down to like 100, 104. So that became a big thing. And I was losing nutrition and my bone health. The sickle cell, what people don't know is that, or they may have watched my show and have learned, sickle cell bites at your bones. So you already are going to get the bone loss dependent, most of us, I'm up in the medical stages of being alive. Even T-Boss from the TLC group, she's a little bit younger than me. So usually women are gone by now. And usually the women don't make it past 48, and the men don't make it past, I want to say, about 62 or so. I'm 54, so I'm in the medical stages now of being here. So this is part of the disease already, which is the cells nip at the bones. It's how it does when it goes into crisis, So I have that on top of now with the kidney failure that's sucked out a lot of weight and a lot of issues with it. So finally, they wanted me to try something called indica. Back when we used back in the day, the only weed you had was regular weed and sensimillion. That was it. All these 19 names and 19 different things.
There's
if
28
people
strands.
don't think that stuff is added into that marijuana, you're crazy and you're out of your mind. Nothing just grows with all these names. We got weed now that's named after people. Cut it out. Stop it. Enough is enough. So it's called indica, and it's supposed to make you eat. And they really wanted me to try it. And this is when, they were on the thoughts of passing the marijuana law. Everything was up in legislation and all that. So I'm strong enough. I said, okay, let me see if this does work for my sickle cell pain. Let me see if this will work with my weight, which, will keep me here longer, because I'm on like life-threatening issues. I tried it for sickle cell pain, it doesn't work. So the pain from sickle cell is way different. No, because what happened was I did gain some weight, but I hurt my kidneys more, because what people don't realize is 90% of the things that are going to give you weight, the kidney can't handle. Everything has potassium in it. So it was a catch-22. So I was like, I'm not going to smoke something that's not going to do me no good. No. Mm-mm.
So you're still going to have, so what's happening with the kidneys now?
3% left. They won't start. I got the implant in my arm. It healed up. It just got cleared like about 30 days ago, like November. It just cleared, I want to say, was it the second week of November? So it just cleared. It's a new kind of fistula. It's not one of them big onion things or whatever. It's just a little device that goes in between the veins, and, so it cleared. And so we're just waiting now for this 3% that I'm holding on to, because they won't give you dialysis until you're down to 0.
So then that's why you'll gain 26 pounds in a night.
No, I gained 26 pounds overnight because my heart failed, so now I have heart failure.
Oh, okay.
That's a whole
I thought maybe
different
with the
ballgame.
kidney as well.
Well, it is. They all connect, but they don't like each other. So basically, what the sickle cell needs to survive is I got to stay hydrated. I've had to stay hydrated since I was a kid. I've had to drink double what the normal person does, right? Because if you don't stay hydrated, that's when your cells and everything, they shrink up, they get tight, the blood gets sticky, icky, and that's when they cause a sickle cell crisis, which means the cell gets stuck and all the rest are backing up and your blood count goes down and now you're in major sickle cell crisis. So I've always had to stay more hydrated than the next person. Like at Somerville High and Southern Junior High, Northeastern High, that was an issue out here in Somerville because I went to school in Somerville. And I had to have a note to be able to drink and go to the bathroom whenever I had to. But that was because of the sickle cell. But now with the kidneys, no, with the heart failure, the kind of heart failure I have is my heart is stiffening, which I have probably about 75% usage left. I lost 25. And what it means is if it's stiffening, it's like, okay, your foot's stiffened, so that's a wrap down there, so it's stiffening. Whatever areas, however much of the time, we don't know, but it's stiffening. So when the heart stiffens, whatever I drink, it's not pumping out. And so it goes right on you. And so I get heart flooding now. I literally gained like 26 pounds overnight. Never knew you could do it. When I woke up, I looked like the little Michelin girl. From, you know, the Michelin icon for the Michelin tire? I looked like that from my waist to my feet. You could barely see the toes on my feet. That's how swollen my feet were. Like you could barely see my toes. And I was in the hospital. I had things attached to me that were shaking like this, wrapped around my legs, and it was just the weirdest thing ever. It was the weirdest thing. And since now, I've had 2 more heart failures. So what's going to get me first? I don't know. Is it going to be the sickle cell? Is it going to be the heart failure? Or is it going to be this kidney? And I'm stuck. I'm stuck right now at the time where I'm at the worst. Because dialysis helps you feel better, and it helps take the function of what the kidney does over. So I'm stuck right now with a messed up kidney, can't get the help because I'm not down to 0. But I got the device in my arm.
With all the illnesses this woman has, look how beautiful she looks today.
Oh, man, you know, God, I really firmly believe I would have been a big model. I tried model for a long time in different states, too. I made some magazines and everything, but I never made the height. They didn't change the height until, like, I want to say, like, 6 years ago, Jada Pinkett, she got the height changed. So even when I was acting, the height still wasn't changed, and that was back in 2008. You know, so I never made it to the big world like I wanted to. So I modeled in like probably, New York, Connecticut, here. I did a show in LA. I mean, I've done a lot of modeling. I've done a lot of beauty magazines. You know, I got a full-page pinup. You know, we had pinups back in the day. You know, I got a full-page write-up on me. I started a modeling agency in Boston in the 90s. You know, so, you know, God did bless me with that, but the inside's terrible. You know, this is what deceives people from what's really going on, because then someone looks at you and they're like, oh, you're not sick. Huh? I'm real sick. Like, most of the time I'm curled up in fetal position. You know what I mean? I'm gasping for air now. You know, like, I had to triple breathe to breathe one breath. Like, it's just not a good situation to be in. And ask me how I'm clean.
Imagine that.
I don't know. I'll be 24 years clean in April.
God
I
love
don't know how. I just know where it brings me. If I was to use, I'll die. I don't have to worry about fighting nothing. That would be my ticket out. My body couldn't handle that, Joanne.
Yeah.
There's no way that my body can handle whatever it is that's out there. Because I don't believe that there's pure cocaine like there used to be back in the day.
No, there isn't.
That's what I did. That was my drug of choice. I didn't have a problem with anything else.
Probably
Didn't
pure
like it.
fentanyl
Yeah, it has that stuff.
and
Yeah.
carfentanil.
And I've never had fentanyl. I've had it for surgery because that's what the doctors give you. But even they've offered it to me back in 2000 for my sickle cell pain. I told them, heck no, I don't want that stuff. You know, so I turned
to
it
deal
down.
with the pain instead.
I'll deal with the pain and go into the hospital like I have to. I don't need that. I don't want to be numb like that.
Yeah. No, I think my sister-in-law goes through a lot of pain. You know, she had 2 stem cells. You know, she almost died a few times because she has a blood disease, and before
What does she have?
I'm not quite sure
Okay.
of the blood disease. All I can
Okay.
tell you is that she may have been exposed to radiation when she was
Oh, jeez.
living in Japan.
Oh, jeez.
And the thing is that she needed transfusions a lot. And she also needed to, she was on pills. So they would do for years she'd be doing this, and then all of a sudden now it didn't work. She would require having stem cell. So now she more or less has leukemia. She's been going through a lot. She was in the hospital for like 6 months. The first time she had 100%. She had 2 people that were 100% that she could get their stem cell from. But they were young adults.
Better be young.
Right, and then her family couldn't do it because there was no one that was 100%.
No match.
Or even close. So the first one ended up that her DNA was attacking the stem cell of the donor. So you couldn't use the same donor,
Right.
because her body's going to keep going after the
Right.
that stem cell and kill it. So she almost died, and then they found another donor. So the thing is that her body is rejecting,
That happens.
and she's in a lot of pain. But what happened, she ended up having, she fell down. She passed out. And when she did, she was near the cabinets, and when she fell, her ankle broke in 4 places. She even called me to tell me. I broke my ankle. And then I couldn't find her for the longest time. But they could not repair her ankle. She's still walking around with a broken ankle.
Get out of here.
They won't operate. So the thing is, she's in a lot of pain. And I'm surprised that with all the pain that she's in, that she isn't addicted. But she says, I have to learn, like yourself, to live with the pain.
You have to. Well, you
don't
don't
wanna
live
be
with it.
comatose
I mean,
the
they
rest of
give
your
you
life.
medicine. You don't live with it. You just learn how to manage your medication. You know what I mean? Period. That's it. It's not that you're living with it, because I'm sure she's on some type of pain medication somewhere along the line, but she's learning not to abuse it, which is what why I was trying to, before I got sick, trying to get this, a building and people to pitch in to open up this foundation, and that I talked about before with you, for people who are chronically ill with addiction. Because what a lot of people also don't realize is in the program, if you have a red blood count that's under 25, you can't be in a AA or NA program.
Oh.
Because medically your blood count is too low, and their facility is not capable of being, accountable for you, like with nurses and doctors and stuff like that. So they can't take care of you. I actually got kicked out of Project Return in New York. I went to a program called Project Return. Out there, it's different than here, because back then when I did that program was a 3-year program. We didn't have 3-year programs here. You know what I mean? And I didn't get clean. I just stopped using the hard knuckle way, and I had a couple attacks because of the drugs coming out of my system, which does happen. They send me to St. Luke's Hospital because St. Luke's is best known for the people who have sickle cell anemia disease.
And that in New Bedford?
No, that's in New York. St. Luke's is in New York.
Okay.
there may be one here, but I'm talking about New York. That's one of the first hospitals that's done the biggest with sickle cell. And, you know, besides like St. Judas, like that, I'm talking about for just sickle cell. St. Luke's is known for. So that's where the program sent me. How was I supposed to know? Because they didn't do it here at Mass. That they was going to go look at the blood count. And they're like, oh, you got a 22 blood count right now. You can't, we have to discharge you. I was like, what? Like, we got to discharge you. And I'm like, why? Because medically we're not, we're not facilitated to take care of anybody whose blood count is that low. So, you know, that's where the beginning kind of began for me, though, because, you know, I ended up having to come back to Massachusetts. And I had warrants. So I just turned myself into the police, and I went to jail. And I did my time, and I got clean, and I never used again after. That was a wrap. That was around that period of time when all that happened, you know. I think I might have had 2 more incarcerations after or whatever, but it was around that time period where I was basically like, okay, I'm jailed. 8 years in prison, I'm done. Every time I use, I go to jail. I'm done. And I ended up a couple of years later just getting it together. And
So you don't agree with, let's say.
Suboxone.
Yeah, you talked about Suboxone. You don't care. You don't agree with that.
I think it's a way to keep people high. No, I've watched people nod on Suboxone. No, I don't agree with it. I think it's your crutch. I'm sorry. I know there's some addicts that are mad, but it's my opinion. I'm in the program.
You said you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that believe in complete,
complete freedom of everything. If I didn't have to take medication when I get sick, I wouldn't. I don't take medication when I'm not sick.
Right.
No, I don't take medication when I'm not in pain. No, I don't. But that's something I never did anyway. Period.
What do you think of Vivitrol?
Yeah, but see, some people need to be taught that. If you're not born sick, like I was born sick. So I used to always say, it must be real hard for people who weren't born sick. Just have this healthy, glorious life, and all of a sudden you're sick and everything changes. It must be like your world crashes. But for me, it never happened because I was born sick. But I will say it kind of did in a way, because then when I got the kidney failure and the iron, I got the iron overload first, but that didn't affect me until it affected the kidneys physically. So once I got the kidney failure, now I felt how it was in a way, even though I was already sick, but to have something, because now the extra stuff I could do, I couldn't do no longer. Because sickle cell comes and goes, comes and goes. It's always there, but the level of pain comes and goes. Today I could be a 2. I might wake up and be a 6. I might wake up and be in the hospital in the ambulance. Always in pain. But the different levels is what matters. So I definitely...
Some of them are tolerable, some days are tolerable, and some are...
Yeah.
But you don't go for any Motrin?
Can't take it. Motrin kills your kidneys.
Oh, how about?
Can't take it. Can't take Motrin, Naproxen, none of that. My kidneys will be gone by 72 hours because I'm already down to 3%. So I've already Motrined myself out younger, not knowing what Motrin does.
You're at 3%, but do you have to have dialysis?
Can't get dialysis until you're down to 0. So I guess I got another pothole I got to hit. So, but this is the hard part, they say, because I'm so low.
So you're not eligible for a transplant?
Nope, people with sickle cell anemia can give up right now. I'm fighting to change that. But right now, if you have sickle cell anemia disease, you can forget about getting a kidney. I'm one of the ones I think I talked on my show about fighting for when you have kidney failure, for people who have pre-existing conditions, to be able to start looking for a donor at 20%. Because when you have a pre-existing condition and you wait till 0 to look for a kidney, you're basically only got a couple of years left because you're already fighting a disease. You know what I'm saying? So your body's already weakened. Got that bill passed. People that gathered and helped, and they got the bill passed. So now,
I told you, you're remarkable.
Well, it's not me, it's others, because there's a lot of times where I can't move. You do your best to do your part. You know what I mean? But I'm in the hospital. I've been in 4 different comas different times, and I'm out of it in pain, and then I'm in treatment, and I'm getting kidney shots. I'm having sickle cell attacks. I'm having heart failure. So it's people like you that got it done. I might be doing my research when I can, but it's people like you that we need that can physically put the work in. So, I was just part of the caboose. I wasn't the driver. Unfortunately, I couldn't drive. I was definitely part of the caboose. So,
what is the percentage of people that have sickle cell? Do they have data?
Yeah, about 1 Jeez, my head is overworked tonight. African Americans, I will say 600,000 or so people die of sickle cell anemia disease a year. Something like that. Don't have the print in front of me. I'm talked myself to death with the TV shows.
You didn't think I was going to hit you with that, did you?
Nah, but it's a lot, and like I said, the kidney failure, the medication that every single buddy who has kidney failure has to take to get the kidney, to get your body used to the medication, and then get the kidney in you. Because like you said, that kidney can get rejected. Your body can reject it. But to still even need a kidney, there's one main medication you have to take. And that medication kills people with sickle cell. The medication shrinks your veins. So if you shrink someone with sickle cell anemia disease's veins, they go into sickle cell attack and they can die. So that medication they have will kill me. But they have a medication that right now is working since 2017, but it's in China. And this one expands the veins. So can you imagine what it might do for sickle cell? If there's a medicine that expands the veins, do you know how many people with sickle cell can probably live as close to as a normal life until there's a cure?
And yet,
A lot,
it's not
because
here.
that's what happens. The cells get stuck. Nope, and it's on clinical trial. In clinical trials, you're allowed, I believe, if you catch me again off guard, I think it's 4 years, up 2 to 4 years. And then they do what's called opening the book to the world. So right now, it's still under clinical trial. It has approximately a year to whatever, a little bit of time left. It went in the end of 2017, so you might as well say 18 if you round it off. So you figure 18, so you figure 18 and 19, 19 to 22 years. So somewhere between 21 and 22, maybe China will open a book. Right now, everything's working good with it on their clinical trial, but it's not here. I'm trying to get it here. So right now, if you get kidney failure, you're just on your last row. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Can't get a donor.
That's too bad. It
No.
really is.
It is. And what's too bad is how do you find something that might work and then tell another place, they can't try it yet. But I guess,
Well, maybe that's something we should change. We want to change everything, right?
Yep.
So why don't we just change that?
Yeah, I wish it was that easy. Joe.
FDA.
I know I'm trying because I've been giving them heck.
I've been out in front of that FDA, asking them why they kill our children today, because they gave them OxyContin for 11-year-olds. I mean, I can understand. I mean, OxyContin was made to be able to help people that were
Like
in the
me.
last stages of cancer, not given to someone.
Or people in my condition, because when I get to a certain level, that's what I have to be on.
Right.
But I won't take the fentanyl. So, you know, but that's on the doctor.
Like
It's
you
really
said,
not.
on the show that you were on with me, you said that there are a lot of people out there that need to be on medication for
Yeah.
pain. And so there are a lot of people that are addicted.
Because they didn't get the proper teaching, though.
And
You
what
know,
they
you have
need
to
to
learn.
do is to be able to use the medication properly.
Right. And to know when to try to get that break in. See, what people, it's not just a mental thing, it's a physical thing. What people don't get to is that, say they give you a medication and they say, all right, you broke your knee, Joanne. You know, it's all smashed up. So we want you on OxyContin for the next 2 weeks. You should try 3 days of the medication and then try not to take no medication for a day or two. Because it's that first week that you got to get the break in there. Otherwise, then you're building up a tolerance. Not only are you building up a tolerance, you're also mentally, you can get dependent
Right.
on taking that medication. So it's 2 areas you got to combat. You got to combat the physical tolerance, you got to combat the mental. So if you can't take that pain and give yourself a break, and I know you're in bad pain, but just for 24 hours, cry it out or something, and it gives your body that break. So your body's not as dependent on that chemical.
Right.
And you can do it, anybody can. People don't realize what you can do. I try to push that break. You know, I might be worse in a day or two for doing it, but I gave it that break. Plus, I'm a recovering addict, so I just learned mentally and then knowing what gives your body that break of the accumulated days back to back of taking that pain medicine, around what days you should try to put that break in. And it's definitely the 3rd or 4th, because so far, statistically, that's what we found to be the breaking area. At least that's what we found.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for some people, it's different. Like, a lot of people don't realize weight and everything matters. You know what I mean? Like, believe it or not, it does. It really does. Everything matters. People don't get it. It's even with the vitamins. Like, people think, and I say it, oh, everybody going on this organic trip, this vitamin trip, this GMO trip. You don't even know what you're doing. You know, all of a sudden you want to become the health nut. All right, that's good. That's beautiful. That would be beautiful for everybody, to be real honest. But if you don't know what your levels are now you can cause your body damage. Do you know that taking too much vitamin D, you can grow extra bones on the inside of yourself?
No.
Yep.
I actually am on vitamin D every day.
See, but they're checking your level. They put you
do.
on it. So I'm talking about the people who aren't getting their levels checked, who are just reading things and they want to become a health nut. You know, you have to know.
It's water soluble and all.
And it's costly, because I tried to do it. I tried to get a vitamin. I tried to have the hospital be accountable for giving me a bag of vitamins every month, opposed to being registered. It was like, Lisa, that's kind of like cosmetic. I was like, why? It is, and that bag of vitamins is like $3,000.
You know, we're running out of time.
Yep. So
I want to thank you for being on the show.
you're welcome. I want to thank you for calling me and having me. And I
wanted
thank
to
God
have
that
you
you
again.
got me here.
I want to see you here again.
I hope to be. You know, I want to say while I'm on here to everybody that I haven't been here for the S.C.A.W show. Hopefully everything will be back on track after the new year, bringing in 2020. Because they wanted to start editing things here, and that's great. But the thing is that the editing is on Saturdays, and it's real hard because they started it in November, and that's where everybody's getting their seasons, and for shopping and family, and people work Monday through Friday, and Saturday they're either food shopping, gift shopping, something, traveling. Some people take their vacations now to go see their family members, and so I was just like, the Saturday thing, didn't work for November and December for me because I have family coming in, and because I can't travel nowhere now because I've been so sickly, and the guests that I have on my show are sick. Right. So, it's
Actually,
hard.
we're not on anymore, but we are on YouTube, continuing.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have your show on YouTube too?
Now, that's what I guess they'll be doing. I couldn't participate until January. That's what I'm saying,
Okay,
because
that's
of the
cool.
Saturday thing.
And then,
it's just,
then
I was
of course,
already...
I'll come on your show.
Yeah, that would be
I
great.
would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're talking about it with Yvette now, so I just wanted to let everybody know. I think most of the stuff has gone to editing now, right? Mm-hmm. Your show too? I didn't know.
Editing?
Yeah, you're not doing live all the time now?
No, I do all live.
You do? Yeah, see, I've been doing live the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never pre-recorded a show.
Yeah, well, I guess they want to start pre-recording something so that they also have backup. Yeah. For, like, say you can't make it, there's stuff to dig into. Say I can't make it, there's stuff to dig into. It's just that November wasn't good for us to start it then because my Saturday stuff was gone because of these holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to do the editing on Saturday, so that was hard for me.
Are you tired now?
I'm beat. I'm in pain. I'm beat. I didn't.
How far do you have to go home?
Oh, I live like 6 minutes away.
Okay.
Not even. I'm good. I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
I'm really, really
to see
surprised
you
that you
before the New
made
Year's. You look great.
Huh.
I was really hoping you'd stay in the run, but that's okay because God got bigger things for you. Your retirement is earned. I hope you enjoy it because I know you have family out of state, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
I am going to try to enjoy it. But you know what? I'll never not stop helping or doing something.
Me neither.
And I'll still continue the show.
Yeah, me neither, Joe.
And I'm so thankful I've met you.
And I'm so thankful I met you too. And I'm thankful to Somerville TV for.
And I hope that we can get. Have you looked into getting the sickle cell tests?
We're trying. Me, Monique Triplet, and Yvette. Yvette, since I've been so sickly, has been pushing to try to get this PSA commercial together because that's what I've been trying to do. That was my main goal, was the PSA commercial. Because New England has the top hospitals, but yet we don't have our own PSA commercial for sickle cell anemia. So that's my priority for the new year, is to work on that. Along with, now that you're retiring and you're not going to run, hopefully we can sit down, because we went to SC.A.W Boston too already, and we're trying to get a building, that will help people who are chronically ill and addicted. So we can teach people how to take their medication and help people get clean.
We'll have to talk about this a little bit later, because there is something in the works.
They probably got the idea from us. Don't tell me about it. I might be upset.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
I'm going to get him to shut up. I wonder how many times we heard you scratching yourself.
See, I've been talking.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to tell you, but it's about the people. It's not about who does it first. It's about getting it done.
All right, so I'm going to explain to you that I had a phone call the other day